When it comes to justice in the real world, justice is often a slow, bureaucratic machine that takes 6 to 8 months to fully get processed. But in anime, it is different. Justice is a high-stakes, adrenaline-fueled battleground of just ideals clashing, truth and lies, light and dark, but sometimes in the gray. It's not just about good and evil, as I said. It's about the fundamental question: who gets to decide what's right? The strong, the weak, the majority, or the minority? Today we're diving into the complex landscape of our favorite series and what justice is all about in them. From the vigilante justice of Death Note to the systematic justice of the One Piece universe, or even a little bit of AOT and Code Geass sprinkled in, and Naruto. We are going to be challenging the ideals of law, order, justice, and the human heart. I'm your host, Anime 101. Like, share, subscribe, do all the good YouTube stuff, and let's get right into it. We have to start with the gold standard of justice in anime: Death Note. Light Yagami's brand of justice is, well, interesting to say the least. It's the eye for an eye philosophy taken to its absolute extreme. To Light, the world is a rotten place, and the only way to fix it is to exorcise the rot, to destroy the evil, and to kill. Well, let's break it down. Kira's philosophy is, well, result-oriented. At the end of the series, we find out crime rates have dropped to a whopping 70% around the world. No new wars have started. People are being good out of fear of that if they accidentally steal something and their name gets written on the news, well, they're dead. So they're going to be extra careful. Probably no drunk driving accidents, probably no petty theft and larceny, and obviously no new wars because, Light would have just written the leader's name in the Death Note and continued that process until the war was over. And, his absolute, there's no rehabilitation, there's only removal. There's no room to grow because, you can't even grow because you're dead. Justice becomes synonymous with his own will. Whatever he feels that day will be going on. But opposing him is L, representing the judicial system. L doesn't necessarily care about cleaning up the streets, he cares about the law itself. He argues that if you break the law to catch a criminal, you become one. The question is, does a perfect world matter if it's built on a foundation of corpses? If you use the devil's tools to do God's work, whose side are you really on? Now, if Death Note is about the individual, then the system is the One Piece universe. You have two sides or many factions: the Marines, who serve the celestial dragons, or the pirates who serve themselves. Now, the greatest thing about One Piece is, quite literally, we have someone who tells us the whole system, and that is Doflamingo. In that famous scene, if the pirates win, they decide what's good. If the Marines - the Celestial Dragons win, obviously, they decide who's good and evil. It's all about who writes the story. And Doflamingo, he knows everything about it because he's a Celestial Dragon himself, but he does the work of a pirate, but he also does works with the Celestial Dragons. He basically plays all sides, so he knows all sides. And, whose justice will reign supreme in the One Piece verse? At the end of the day, if the pirates win, the pirates decide what's good and right. The Marines win, they decide what's right and wrong. And this comes to fulfillment with one single fight. The Battle of Marineford. Yes, the greatest piece of work in the One Piece universe. The Battle of Marineford. You have two sides who are basically equal. You have Whitebeard's pirates, who are absolutely strong, and then you have the Marines, who have the admirals, the vice admirals, and everything else. This battle is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, foundations of the One Piece universe. It is probably almost as big as when Roger revealed the One Piece itself on his death row. So, One Piece teaches us something beautiful. Whoever wins decides what is justice. And we're still finding out who's going to win. Is it Luffy? Is it Law? Is it the pirates' side? Or is it the Celestial Dragons who control the world? The winner will be decided soon, and it's going to be so peak when it happens. But let's pivot to shonen for now. For a long time, shonen justice was simple. Punch the bad guy, then become the hero of the story. Then became the pain arc in Naruto Shippuden. Nagato introduced the concept of restorative justice through trauma. He argued that the world would never stop fighting until everyone understood the same pain. Justice comes from vengeance, but that justice only breeds more vengeance. This is the cycle of hatred in Naruto. However, Naruto's response wasn't a bigger Rasengan, it was listening. It shifted the narrative from punishment to understanding. It suggests that true justice isn't about what happens after a crime, but healing the conditions that led to it in the first place. And let me tell you, that was some good shit in the Naruto Shippuden. My favorite arc, and arguably the greatest arc in Naruto, is the pain arc because of this exact reason. But then, let's shift visuals to another area. Vinland Saga, Attack on Titan, and Code Geass. Finally, we have, modern deconstructions. In Vinland Saga, Thorfinn learns that justice is often a mask for revenge. He transitions from a warrior to a pacifist. He realizes the most difficult form of justice is forgiveness. Then there's the AOT. This is where justice goes to die. It's trivial justice. My people deserve to live, even if yours must die. When everyone is a victim and everyone is a perpetrator, the concept of a just world collapses entirely, and we know that with the rumbling. And then Code Geass. Granted, it's not a modern piece, but it certainly has lived up to its name. Lelouch, was wronged a lot in his life, so he's like, you know what? I want to become king, and then just, die a hero. Because, that's Lelouch, and he can do whatever the hell he wants. So what is justice in anime? It's not a destination to go to, or get to, or achieve. It's a mirror. Anime doesn't give us the easy answers because there aren't any. It uses these, fantastical scenarios to make us look at our own world and our own decisions. We are too focused on punishment, like Light. Are we reliant on the flawed systems, like One Piece, or are we brave enough to break the cycle like Thorfinn and Naruto? Or are we just going to add to it like Eren, Light, and Lelouch? Justice isn't exactly a sword. It's the person holding the sword. And, there are so many other examples in anime that I could probably do a part 2. But let me know in the comment section down below who or what animes represent the concept of justice the best. Naruto is one of them for me. AOT, depending on what your view of it is. And obviously, One Piece. Anyway, that's it for me. Your host, Anime 101. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good YouTube stuff. Signing out. See you guys next time. Have a fantastic day.